Davey.
Thank you very much. And I, for one, when I recite my ABCs, I end with X, Y, Z. And the reason for that is because I'm a play school girl, not a Sesame Street girl. Play school is Australian content. And we want to see more Australian content. And this government promised us Australian content. But like so many issues, this government is quite happy to break their promises. We've seen it on superannuation. We've seen it on stage 3 tax cuts. And now we see it on what they were so staunch and so proud about. But in the art sector, they've broken their promise to deliver Australian content quotas for streaming platforms. This promise was made in light of when we were in government, our then Minister, Paul Fletcher, had worked with industry and had proposed a way forward to develop a content quota regime. We had a change of government. Prior to the change of government, the then Shadow Minister, Tony Burke, at Woodford Folk Festival no less, promised in the summer of 2022 that if they were elected to government, they would deliver content quotas for streaming platforms. Maybe he thought they wouldn't win. You know, a promise made in opposition you don't have to worry about because you're never going to deliver. But when they did, and so he committed to deliver it, and then he put a deadline on it. He said that they would have content quotas in place by the 1st of July 2024. In May 2024, an options paper was released and they were investigating content quotas on revenue or content quotas on expenditure, but they were at least making some progress, while making everyone participating in the consultation sign non-disclosure agreements. Again, I'm standing here highlighting the lack of transparency of this government and their reliance on non-disclosure agreements. But what have we heard since May 2024? Well, we heard at the Senate estimates at that time that they were still working. The department was still working on the scheme to inform cabinet decisions. And since then, nada. We've heard rumours that the hold-up is now because it's a trade issue. But we've heard nothing. There hasn't been an exposure draft. 1st of July came and went, and we are still waiting. And the screen production industry in Australia is still waiting. But even worse, I mean, what we are also seeing is a continuation of the failure to deliver on their promises. In the May budget last year, we saw that a promise that the government would lift the cap on above-the-line costs for the producer offset to apply from the 1st of July 2024. Has the required legislation that needs to pass actually come through this place? Has it even come through the other place to ensure that can happen? No. And we are like 9 months later. I could have had a baby in that amount of time. Thankfully.
Mr. Dickey would love that.
And then, in my EFO, there was a promise to lower the offset threshold, which would benefit some of our smaller screen industry businesses. And yet again, where is the legislation to enable that? Time after time after time, this government is failing the Australian screen industry. The very industry that gave me my 0.2 seconds of fame when I appeared in the background of the Australian movie Two Hands. That very industry. This government is turning its back on the Australian screen industry. Unlike the Nationals, who with Brian Brown were able to secure the 40%.